Hello, welcome to my domain. This is my teenage fantasy music room. The kind of room that I've been hoping to create my entire life, pretty much. This is my sanctuary. This is the warehouse for my music and my memorabilia and a lot of memories. See, I'm obsessed with music, and I'm obsessed with collecting, and I'm obsessed with surrounding myself with the sound of all these wonderful artists that I've come to love and appreciate over the years. And I finally had opportunity to put it all in one place, even though I'm quite obviously running out of room, which is a problem of sorts. But I'll keep stacking them as long as I can. To me, music is a very, very real element in my life, which is why I collect physical records and physical CDs and don't gather them from the ethos and space and streams and downloads. I like the reality of being able to look at something, hold it, cherish it, and of course listen to it at the same time. And that's what I do, you know. I mean, I'm a writer by profession. I write about music, all kinds of music, and I write about artists, and I really seek to get into their inner workings, what they're all about, what motivates them, because that's what motivates me. And all that you see here is the result of my efforts over the past, 20 years. Actually, I've been doing this since college, but we won't go back that far because that's another century, so we don't want to go back that far. But the rewards of what I've done are manifest in this basement. It's far more than the financial rewards, which are often negligible, but it's the opportunity to get new music and to build a collection, to meet artists, to go to concerts, spend time with them, and that's the reward, that's the payoff. Plus the fact that, hey, I have to give my wife some perks too, because, just have to. You have to pay your dues there. So, I'm kidding, of course. But the fact is that my wife has become a great partner in all of this. She's my photographer, so whenever we go and we cover concerts or festivals or music cruises, she takes the photos. And in our new book, and here comes the plug, Americana Music Voices, Visionary... I messed it up. Voices, Visionaries, and Pioneers of an Honest Sound. That's the book. She took all the photos. The book is basically a collection of interviews that I've done with some of the great musical icons of the past several decades, beginning with Ralph Stanley, who is a pioneer of bluegrass, to the great singer-songwriter Guy Clark, to members of the Byrds, to the Mavericks, to Jason Isbell. It's the story of Americana music as told through the voices of the people that lived it and created it. So that was the unashamed plug, which I cleverly tied in to talking about my wife. I'm well versed at this. But anyway, just to sum it up, it's my passion, and it's what I do, and I feel very fortunate that having never really been trained in the writing process, but having come of age as a promotion guy in the music industry for Capitol Records and ABC Records, having worked with artists like Tom Petty and Jimmy Buffett and Bob Seger and folks like that, I really got this anchor and this space for what I do, and now I've been able to continue to do that through my writing and being asked to write you know, for different record companies and different artists. So that's my story.
Today we're sitting here with Lee Zimmerman. Tell us about you, Lee.
Well, what do you want to know? I'm a writer, I'm an author, and I'm a music obsessive.
All right. Tell me about your book some. A lot of people have sent me your way. I've been told I've been needing to meet you for quite some time now. So tell me what this book is about, and tell me what you've done, like a little bit. Like, I mean, this room's unbelievable, and I see all these posters with signatures on them and all kinds of stuff. And it seems like you've worked with a lot of people. You said you worked with Capitol Records.
Yeah,
all these
ABC
things.
Records, people like, the late great Tom Petty and Bob Seger, Jimmy Buffett. The roll call goes on forever. But I actually, when I was in college a million years ago, I started writing, for a music publication. And then after college, I was fortunate enough to get into the music business as a promotion guy. My job was to get records played on radio. Yes, promotion. Hey. Make note. Yes. So I did that.
Now that seems like pretty hard to do. Get people's records playing on air.
Very hard.
Even though you were with Capitol Records, which is such a big name.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was extremely hard to make.
It was very hard because back in the day, you have to realize that any given radio station, pop radio station or mainstream station, would get dozens and dozens of records, 45s, each week for consideration for, their rotation. And typically, there'd only be like 30 current records on a playlist. So, and they would add 1, 2, maybe 3, sometimes none. So out of all these dozens of records, you're trying to get into the top 1% to get picked, and the competition is enormous. You have to have credentials like, WABC in New York is playing it, or, WLS in Chicago is playing it. It's moving up the charts. It's by an artist with a great track record. Whatever credentials you could feed the music director would hopefully inspire them to put the record on. But it was very difficult. Competition. Very frustrating.
So how'd you get into writing about the artist? Or have you always been doing press releases? Have you always been doing articles on people?
Well, I worked for CBS television. And before that, I worked for Hard Rock Cafe, and I worked for a publicity company. And so I learned how to write press releases. But as far as the music stuff's concerned, it was just sort of my natural love of music and what I was able to perceive as important that I could put into the writing. And when it came to writing articles and record reviews, I would pick out the things that were really striking about the music and about the artist. I always observe what other people do and what other people write and how they do it and how it kind of resonates. And I try to pick those elements out in my own work. Find a good hook, something catchy, phrase things in a certain way. I'm big on alliteration.
Okay.
You know what alliteration, so that a sentence in a press release or a bio or a music review or an article about an artist, so that each sentence flows and it, comes along. It doesn't end on a hard consonant. It's like music, it's melodic. And that's kind of how I like to put things over. Again, I read stuff and say, wow, that's really amazing. And I try to emulate that in my own work.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you came out with this book.
Oh, yes.
Check out this book. Yeah, check this out, all right? Tell us a little bit about the book.
Oh, okay. Well, yes. There we go, right here. The book is called Americana Music, Voices and Visionaries and Pioneers of an Honest Sound. It was published by Texas A&M University Press, and it's basically a collection of interviews that I've done with iconic Americana artists over the past 15 or 20 years. And the idea occurred to me that, well, here's the story of Americana music and the voices of these artists. Americana music is a popular catchphrase these days. Americana, Americana, but it's a huge umbrella that can encompass blues, R&B, country, country rock, folk music. But it occurred to me that the music that I grew up listening to by bands like the Byrds and Poco and the Flying Burrito Brothers, the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, that was Americana, i.e. the crossover between rock and country, which was, at the time of its origin, it was very unusual because you had people, that liked country music that were, not really, happy about the hippies and the long hairs, and that was a different world. And at the same time, the rockers were a little wary of the people that made country music. And so when it crossed over and became this thing called country rock, it really was becoming Americana, which is the essence of American music. That said, it spread all over the world. I mean, people in England and Japan and Germany.
Everyone's playing Americana.
Everybody's playing Americana.
I played in an Americana band for a while, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Well, you know what I'm talking about then.
Playing a lot of music my whole life, and Americana music always goes over well with any demographic you go to.
What's your definition of Americana music? How
it's all
captures people?
I don't know. It's all connected together. I think it's just like Americana music to me. Sometimes it's feel good music.
Yeah.
Feel good music that relates to everybody.
Yeah. Good.
Music that is of American based, I guess. Like America, like it's like
from the heartland.
It's from the heartland. Yeah, exactly. And then also can transpire into folk music, like you said.
Yeah.
It can go even into bluegrass, and it can go into all kinds of different genres or under Americana. Even funk can be under Americana too. Funk, reggae, hip hop, everything. Americana it reminds me of Tom Petty. A lot of people say Americana music, and first thing that kicks in my head is Tom Petty.
Yeah, he's a good example.
Good example of feel good, all American music.
With soul and depth.
With soul and depth, yeah.
One of my favorite songs by Tom Petty is that song, I Won't Back Down.
Exactly.
Because it's defiance and sticking to your principles.
Correct.
And I think that's
what America's about, though. We're about,
that's what we need to be about.
We're like, America's a melting pot of all different cultures. It all comes into one, right? And this is who makes what America is made of. We are what America is made of.
It's a melting
pot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
Independence, and it's doing your own thing, and whatever. Be damned. Yeah. So I feel it. I feel it in this room.
Oh, most definitely. This room's mildly. This is not mildly. This is a very impressive room. I've seen a lot of CD collections and everything else. This is.
It's obsessive.
Hey, everyone obsesses about something.
It is. It's obsessive, but it really, it really goes to my soul. I don't know what it is. Music. It's out there, and you hear it. It's one sense.
It's something you hear. You see it too. And
how does it affect you like that? I don't know. It's so weird to me, but it does.
Music is in an industry that's like, it's something that you can hold a physical CD, but you can't hold the song.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't actually hold the lyrics and hold what the instruments are making. It's something that you can only hear. It's something that's intangible. You can't just hold the actual song itself.
Right.
I think that's why it captures a lot of people. It captures me, and it captures me by it's something you hear. It's not something that you. Yes, you can buy a CD and you can hold the CD and you can hold the physical copy, right? But you have to put it in a machine to hear what it is.
Right.
That you're hearing something. It's all audible. It's nothing physical.
I know, and it's so weird to me that the sound can be so inspiring and captivating and make people dance or bring them to tears or affect them in such a way. But
yeah,
that's
what awesome.
It does. It's a wonderful thing. So it's my life. I don't know, one way or another. It's hooked me.
Well, how can people find you?
Well, I do have a website which is called storiesbeyondthemusic.com.
Check it out. It's worth it.
And as far as the book is concerned, you can buy it. It's on Amazon. I'm on Amazon. So you can buy it there. I think you can get it at Target even. Oh my God, I'm become a Target commodity here. And here in Knoxville, Union Avenue Books carries it, a fine homegrown local bookstore, which greatly admire. So yeah, it's out there.
Check them
Please
out.
buy it. I'm waiting for my tally to see if I make more than $1.95 in total from the book. But I hope it does well. I mean, I really,
I say it's very hard being a author.
it is hard. It's hard to find a publisher. It's hard to do all the work that it takes to convince the publisher that they ought to invest in it. And then it's hard to write the book. And then once you do that, then you have to promote the book, and that's hard too. That takes a lot of time. And in the midst of my daily writing and assignments, doing the promotion, takes a lot of time. It's
That's
very
where we
hard.
can come in and help, man.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm
So,
thinking.
Yeah, that's where we can come in and help you and other people
I
too.
think so.
It's what I've kind of created is something that is, I guess it's artist development, quote unquote, but it's a marketing company. I can market anything. So.
Yeah, and I think there's an incredible need for a company like yours
I
because
do too.
most artists don't know what to do, where to go.
Who to talk? Well, we're so close to Nashville, and Nashville is still yet so far away.
Yes,
And
it
you
is.
can't just go down to Nashville and expect to make it. You have to be brought into Nashville.
Right.
Like that's a whole paradigm. It's like you can't you can try and go make it the best you can. You might have major success. I can't. You never know. You might write that hit song that takes you somewhere, but there's always going to be someone in Nashville that's better than you and that can do anything that you can do better.
Well, they have the connections.
And they have the connections to take it to the next level.
The connections, the introduction, because there's so many talented people. I mean, I find this every day. There's so many artists that are terrific, but who will hear them? How will they make it over the top? And that's what a company like yours can do. That's why you're so valuable, essential.
Yeah.
Essential.
Yeah, and then it's you have to have a team of people behind you to really make something become reality.
Yeah.
In this industry, it's extremely hard to make it on your own.
Yes.
It is possible, but you have to be a virtuoso, whatever. Can't speak.
Virtuoso.
Yeah, virtuoso.
Or a
sense.
virtuoso.
Yeah, whatever
or
you
a
want to call it.
virtuoso.
All the same. But I think everyone needs help. I think this business is here to help people ultimately. Yes, it is a business site. Yes, there is money involved. But, if you really want to get to where you want to be, it's going to take investment of more than just time to get there.
Yeah.
And, that's what a lot of musicians don't. Yeah, connections. And that's what some of the musicians here, they want it, but they don't know how to get there and how to obtain the next level. And it's all about connections. It's all about people you meet, people you do business with, how they can help you grow, what can they help you do. For instance, from you, I was directed to you by two great family friends, and they were like, you need to sit down with them.
And Vicky.
Yeah, hi Michael and Vicky Jordan. But I was, it's awesome. They've been like family to me too, and their son has been like a brother to me growing up. And I've played music with Michael too, and everything else, and he's a fantastic musician, and so is his band. I've booked Left Foot Dave and Magic Hats multiple times and everything else. It's all tied in together, and it's I don't know. Connections make your future.
Well, the wonderful thing about this part of the country is that it's, I think, impressive, and it's got great music and great substance, but it's still homegrown, and everybody seems to know one another, and it's all connected, and I think that's a wonderful thing that you can establish that here.
Correct, yes. I noticed, so I worked with a lady out in Nashville when I was in college and in high school, and there was never this, I always had to outsource what I needed.
Yeah.
And I'm a drummer, so I have to rely on a musician to make me anyone, so, yeah, you're a drummer too. You have to rely on a vocalist to make you who you are.
Well, there are some drummers that sing.
Most definitely.
Somebody was showing me a video of a band from the 70s where the drummer was the lead singer.
Oh, well, most stuff. That can be true. But
Yeah.
most cases,
Right.
the drummer's relying on the band. The band's relying on the drummer.
They're relegated to the rear.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So.
And they can be replaced by drum machines. Horrible.
Not unless you put yourself in the position.
Right.
You know?
Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope you're able to do that.
That's kind of what I did. I realized if I could secure my position as a musician in a band and I do all the work, then I have a job.
Right. Right.
And that's how I always took it on.
It's looking towards the future. You got to look towards the future.
Yeah.
That's essential, you know.
But in the Knoxville area, there's nothing that does artist development to the extent taking an artist from the local homegrown to becoming a national act where you can work with Ace Entertainment. Ace Entertainment is like, the top star.
Oh yeah, they're
huge. at the very top, and they're in Knoxville.
Yeah.
That's the top. That's the top tier top. But like, how do you get there?
Oh.
There's all these steps you have to take to even get to them, to just even notice you.
Right.
And there's like, dude, there's so much talent that's going to go unheard all the time.
And it takes persistence too.
Yeah.
I find that, you can make a connection, but it can be out of sight, out of mind on that other end. So you have to keep visibility.
Yeah. Correct.
And you have to find that fine line between persistence and pestering. I find that a challenge. But that's why you're important. I think that, my gosh, I know what I can do, but I need somebody to work it for me.
Exactly.
And get the placements and just kind of say, do this, so that I don't have to,
You need help.
Yeah, I need somebody to strategize.
Yeah, I feel you. That's why we're here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, literally, So,
Yeah.
hey, well, everybody, this is Lee Zimmerman.
Hi.
He does a great job. If you need press releases,
Bios,
writing, anything, he's the man to go to. I appreciate you having us here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here,
I can't wait
man.
to do more stuff with you in the future.
I look forward to it.
Most definitely. Cool. Fantastic.
It's still running.
Follow promotion down below.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, see, I'm not Josh.
You're not.